Underpaid Detective. By Bombergui, Chapter 1, The Interview. My name is Dia Vermillion and I'm a detective. I don't investigate about cheating wives or dishonest business partner. But I do investigate about paranormal and about the thing we bump at night. How I got involved in such weird job, it had a long history in it. In one case where my whole family was taken away from me, my wife, Rossi, she was my world, my everything. Now she is gone, I've been running down the lead ever since. It's a tough rackets, looking into the dark and creepy things. Most people won't even admit they believe in ghost, ghoul, or goblin or trolls. What about the cop? They aren't interested in solving the stranger and dark sides either. I know because I used to be one of them. Now I'm an independent detective, which means most month the bill go unpaid. The day is Friday, as I was in deep daydreaming process. How am I going to spend my weekend? With my feet on the desk, a paperback in hand, out of blue a leggy red hair lady in a black suit wearing a sexy mini skirt with the lipstick color of temptation enters. I let my eyes do the talking. My pair of eyes make a slow trip up those long legs to a narrow waist and then linger my eyes on her chest and then to lips before setting onto her pair of eyes that promise and promote sin, a big unforgiving sin. She gives me treatment. I can't tell if she like what she see or she's seizing me up, questioning whether I'm up to the job. Ignoring a pair of tatty office chairs, she forward herself on the corner of my desk instead of crossing her leg over the other, revealing a lot of thigh. It's the opposite of what I had picture. She takes a cigarette out, I thinks it gold flake honey flavor, from her purse, and I flick open my lighter. She take a long drag, paused, blows a stream of opaque smoke up toward the ceiling and says, I heard you are a private dick, or say private detective. I responded, public dick as well. What can I do for you? She paused for a while and blurted out, someone is trying to kill me. I shoot back, why would anyone want to kill you? That's what I want you to find out, she says. I had a little laugh. Fair enough, but we haven't been introduced yet. I flirted with her, but she seemed not interested in introducing herself, for she want to share her problem instead. I ask her, why do you think someone is trying to kill you? She didn't answer right away. She shudder almost imperceptibly, but I pretend not to notice. I wait her out. Finally, after a long pause, she say, I'm a part of a dancing group, Mr. Vermillion. In fact, I have just became the headline act. I'm curious at the way her face pinches, as sure admit this, but you merely say. Called me Dia, I said softly, and I lean back in my chair knowing she is about to explain the shocking story. She nod and take a deep breath. Okay Dia, like I said, I'm now the top dancer. The reason they sell tickets, that is why someone is trying to kill me, only not in any normal sense. You see, the other headliner have all died. How is that possible? I exclaimed. They died in horrible ways. Grace got run over by a bus and Julia fell out of a building from the 6th floor. Sounds like it's a string of unfortunate accident. I tried to calm her. But she replied back angrily, saying that's just what the police and detective at the station house said. And she further said, you didn't know all the fact. Grace was paranoid about crossing a traffic. She had a brother who got run over by a speeding truck when she was 10 years old, just in front of her eyes. And it stuck with her forever. There's no way Grace would walked out into traffic without a help. I interrupted her by saying, what if she is drunk or under the influence of drugs? She gave me an angry look and said, just because we were dancer who dance half naked doesn't mean we were booze hounds or a slut or an addicts. Yeah, of course Grace drinks sometime, but even if she did so, she won't drink to get drunk. She had her own problems, but I know that she wasn't drinking that night she died. I was with her 15 minutes before she died. She had not touched a drop. And Julia too was drinks free, and she never used any intoxicant except a wine or a beer. She is a good girl. She fell out of a hotel window that were not made to open. She just fell right out. Even the police couldn't explain it. I lean back and make a steeple out my fingers. This is suspicious. The cop should really look into it. I murmur to myself. She said, in a town like Tamenglong, couple of dancer turns up dead, no one cares because they all think all dancer are sluts and harlots. And even the police ruled it as an accident or a suicide. I asked her, what do their death have to do with you? And why do you think you are next? She take a deep breath and says, those dead dancer were all headliners. They all had my part before they died. Someone or something killed them, Dia. I just know it. Won't you help me? I weigh my opinion. This is the first paying job for the month and I could really use the money. I decided to help her. And I added more details on my line of work, that I don't work for free. I understand, she say, and she asked me how much will your service cost? I replied 2000 per day and an upfront of 5000. She gave me a strict look like she can see through my soul, figure out what kind of man I'm, while she render her verdict by opening her purse and quickly counting out THR money. With the money matters settled, now I turn to the real business. I ask her if Grace and Julia have enemies like jealous ex-boyfriend, or if they have money problems or a mad crazy fan of theirs. She reply that they don't have. And I ask her another question, do you have enemies? She say no, but there's one guy, he is a regular at the club, comes in every Friday night, kind of like a quiet fellas. He asked Grace once for a date but she refused. For he is a real creep who don't look at people like normal people do, he look at others as if his eyes is undressing someone else. Is there anything you want to describe about him? I asked. He is pale with watery eyes, he wear a black metal band t-shirt and wear a ring on his pinky with one of they 5 pointed stars, a pentagram. I interrupted. Yeah, it is, she confirmed it. Now I'm getting somewhere. He could be an occultist or some kind of worshippers who worship evil god. The girl might be the sacrifice, though most of these old evil god prefer a virgin. She interrupted me saying you have been in this business for a long time and this case might be interesting for you. I ask her if she know where she lives, to which she says confidently, he will be there tonight too, for today is Friday. He will be there exactly at 8 p.m. Good, I will be there, I assure her. She acknowledged my readiness to help her, and as she turned to leave TB room I ask her what's her name? To which she say you can call me Perry, and she further said you are a real humanitarian, Mr. Vermillion. And she left my little office. I appreciate the view as she walk out, feeding my eyes on her big ass, shaking in rhythm with the evil thoughts, what if I can slap that big round ass? It's indeed a beautiful scene. To be continued. End of chapter 1.